Hello, and welcome to a new episode of Black Coffee and Conversations. I am Rico Moore, and this is
CT Minimar from the west side of Charleston.
and Rico Moore from Washington Manor,
Yes, sir.
Charleston, West Virginia, once again. But anyway, this week I think we're going to talk. First of all, I want to talk about what really the most phenomenal thing that happened this week.
What's that?
Did anybody else listen to, I'm going to talk about it, Black Thought's Funkmaster Flex freestyle. 10 minutes, no Molly, no lean,
Percocet.
no pills, straight fire.
Yeah.
Skills.
That's that ether flow.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Not one time did he repeat himself or say stuff over and over. All fire.
Yes, sir.
People would say, oh, you old, you don't understand. Nah, listen. You better listen and learn. Iconic. Probably the greatest Funkmaster Flex freestyle ever.
Yeah. And I
Okay.
think, some people underrate him because, one, he hasn't really put out nothing in some time. He was a member of the Roots, so that people don't really, for the new age, they haven't put out nothing in a while. It's been some time, at least a decade, if not longer, that I
so.
can think of. And so he's just kind of under the radar. But, true hip hop heads know he's, top 5 dead or alive. Easily.
I cannot disagree. Drops straight fire every time, no matter whose song he's on. Be it as a guest appearance or on the Roots. Period.
Yeah. That's what we need right now in hip hop. I know
That's what we've always needed.
I know it's not a hip hop show, but sometimes we just gotta be reinvigorated. With real talk, not none of that. None of that, whatever that mumble jumble. That's the younger generation listen to. Cool, but it has to be a balance. You can't be too consciousness might be watered down and all that mumble jumbo, then it dumbs us down. So I think there's a nice balance that you can go back and forth to. I don't go to the mumble rap. I go to the early, late 90s, but that's just me.
Yeah, I can't listen to that stuff either, because I don't recall it ever being cool to be a dope fiend or a drug addict, and whether you're taking pills or drinking lean, you're still a dope fiend to me, in my mind. So no,
Yeah. But
But 2017, I'm talking about from Damn, which is Kendrick Lamar, Jay-Z, 444, Joey Badass, Sci-Hi the Prince,
J. Cole.
J. Cole,
Yeah.
who else?
For Your Eyes Only, I think that was the name of it.
David Banner,
Yeah.
Big Crit.
Yeah. It was a classic year.
Yeah.
And what's his name just released the album Jeezy called Pressure. He got the song on there with J. Cole and Kendrick. You listen to it yet?
I haven't checked that one out. You sent it to me, but I didn't listen
It's a good song. Kendrick, he was a little disappointed me a little bit on there. I ain't gonna lie. I was expecting more. But J. Cole,
When he-
fire.
I mean, but the point is, all of them have something to say that's worth listening to. All of them seem to be tuned into what's really going on in the world and reality, and not dumbed down by staying high.
Yeah.
So,
And
just a
that-
bit of
yeah.
conversation for me.
Yes, sir. All right, we back. Sorry about that, but this was a good year, in hip hop, and I think 2018. I'm anticipating an even greater year.
Yeah, but I mean, on a local front, I don't know if you saw it, but there was a local doctor who went to jail. He got 5 years. His name was Dr. Scaff. And I'm not saying he didn't deserve 5 years. I'm not saying he deserved more. Actually, I think that was an appropriate sentence. However, he was arrested for Medicaid fraud, and what he was doing was he was distributing pills to a lot of people that didn't need them. And my issue with it is not that he got 5 years, not saying that he should have gotten more. My issue is that, one of the judge's comments, if you look at the newspaper, was that if they had charged him with everything they could charge him with, he would have been facing decades in jail. And I'm glad they did not give him, or I'm glad he wasn't even facing decades in jail. I don't think he would deserve it. But my issue is, when you get these guys on the streets and they get arrested, they charge them with everything they can charge them with, so that they're facing decades, sometimes centuries in jail. Yeah. And they give them everything that they can give them. Yeah. And when Obama was in office, there was a memo that went out called the Holder Memo, which was basically saying we need to address the fact that we're over-sentencing people. We're putting way too many people in jail for crimes that, giving them too much time for the crimes they commit, basically. Yeah. And it's affecting the black community like at a retarded rate, right? So they started kind of saying, hold on, we don't need to give all these people all this time. Well, and then when Trump went in office, now they have these, the Sessions memos, where they basically say, charge them with everything you can charge them with, give them as much as you can give them. That's basically what it says.
Yeah, well, he's a racist.
Okay.
Or suspected white supremacist.
Okay.
So of course he's going to say that.
Yeah, you're probably right. But my point is, with Dr. Scaff, Dr. Scaff, they didn't do that at all. And in fact, I think it said, had he not billed illegally, he would have still made over $600,000. Because he billed illegally, he made 1.5 million or 1.2, one of those numbers. And he still receives the benefit and the break. He would have been, who could not live on $600,000 in a year? And yet you got these kids out here who, due to programming from TV and our messed up school system that don't believe they can do much else, they sell a little dope. A lot of them are lucky if they make $100,000 in a year, $50,000 in a year. But when they get charged, they're looking at 20 years. So this dude over here who has no incentive, no real reason to sell drugs other than to say, I want to make more than $600,000, which I could have made legally anyway, versus these kids over here who make a little bit of money, and that is, for survival a lot of times, but they face 20 and 30 years, and when they charge them with everything that they can charge them with. And the only way a lot of them will, even consider not giving them all that additional time is if they agree to become a rat. And, it just makes no sense. My point is not that Dr. Scaff should have got more time. My point is that they shouldn't do these to these people who don't have this, who have a real reason to be, just to sell drugs or pills or whatever the hell they're selling at the time. And they to take that into consideration instead of saying, oh, he's a drug dealer. Well, so was he. He just had a
business license.
Business license.
Yeah.
And he was an even bigger one because he went from making $600,000 to $700,000. Yet he gets a benefit and he gets to plead out to something a lot less and do 5 years. This kid over here who's selling drugs and whatever, but neither one of them ever shot or killed anybody. Biggest difference is he's white, he's got a degree, he's black, he probably doesn't.
Well, this morning I was reading an article on all the, recent shootings and killings down in Huntington, West Virginia. And
it's about 50 miles from where we are.
Yeah, and I guess yesterday they had a march yesterday led by a couple local pastors. And they marched to the police station down there in Huntington. And, they talk whatever they talk.
What they march for?
Huh?
What they march for?
What they march for?
Yeah.
To end the violence.
So that's all you had to do to end the war is march?
I guess it worked. I guess, I don't know. I don't know when it worked, but, anyway. But they had a quote from the, I don't know if he was the chief of police down there or detective, or I'm not quite sure. But it said, yeah, we gotta, start, locking up all the drug dealers. And it's funny that you brought up this topic for today. My all the drug dealers who pushing this poison to the community. I said, well, damn, half the doctors gonna be they gonna lose half their doctors.
No, they don't mean that. That's cold.
I know that, but I'm being
Yeah,
sarcastic
I
in my
know.
own mind. You know, I'm like, damn, they gonna lose half their doctors. They do that, shoot. But again, exactly going back to what you were saying, you know, down there they have the quote unquote opiate epidemic, you know, which some say was started with, you know, the prescribing of these pills.
It's not. That's a fact.
Okay.
It's a fact.
And then it lead into, you know, heroin and all that type of stuff. And you know, I agree with what you're saying. How is it that this individual, just because he's a licensed practitioner, you know, a doctor, you know, all right, he gets 5 years. A guy, you know, some guy down there maybe selling, you know, a couple pills or however much, you know, weight, a little bit of heroin or something, they ready to throw the book at him. As we said before, as most people know, and if you don't, you're just being, you know, willfully ignorant. The drug laws are racist, and they are intended to be, or the quote-unquote justice system. And so, the bigger question is, can you change the system that you say oppresses you, you know, by entering the system, or do you create a new one?
For me, I have no problem with the way it's set up. It's the way it's implemented, for the most part. So, you know, I would say, you know, it's back to me what I always say. You need to vote and put people in positions that you know, give you some consideration. And if they don't, then you do what you have to do to get them out of there. That is our biggest problem, is we are not participating in the process. So therefore we're not giving any consideration, because why should they, you know, consider us when we don't play?
But my thing is, you know, I play devil's advocate with that. Okay, how can we then say, you know, the same system that oppresses us is the same system that's going to save us?
Well, it's not so much the system, it's the people running the system and the way that they're applying the system. You know, it's different. It's like saying, you know, we should get rid of cars because cars keep running down black people. No, it's the person driving the car that's running down the black people, or a certain set of people as it may be at that time. That is the biggest issue, to me. So if we have people driving the system that consider everybody and not just, you know, their friends and their families, then I think you know, we have a much better system.
But I mean, what incentive do they have? I mean,
At this point, none. That's why I tell them, go out there and vote. Go out there and listen. If you grow up, right, a certain way, and you're indoctrinated a certain way, then you're going to think that way no matter what position you're in. So if you grow up not considering, you know, certain people, then you never, more than likely, I can't say never, more than likely you won't throughout your life. So when you have people who are running the system who have never had to consider anybody else except themselves or people like them, then they won't. Then if they're running the system, then the system won't consider them. But if you have different people from different backgrounds, different walks of life who have an input, then you have no choice but to address those people in the way that they, you know, see things.
Okay, you know, this week, you know, this past Tuesday, you know.
By the way, that march and stuff, it's not gonna do a whole lot of good. If you march, but you're not out in that community, getting to know these people, and I always keep trying to tell them it's not the police, and they think that I'm saying that we have bad police. It's not about bad police. It's about bad communication and bad relationships. So these very people that are out there saying march, 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 if you had been out there with a connection to these people, talking to these people, you could have probably helped diffuse the situation before it even went this far.
Well, my thing is, you know, in 2017, we can't be using civil rights tactics.
You mean pre-civil rights tactics?
Exactly, you know, from that era.
Yeah.
From 60 years ago, you know, or 50 years ago. That is kind of, you know what they say, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results.
Yeah, doing the same things over and over, expecting different. Yeah, that's insane. Plus, you playing from the same playbook. So you playing from the same playbook. Ain't that Pushkin?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Anyway, sorry. You
Yeah.
playing from the same playbook, then everybody knows your plays. But regardless, if you have no connection to these people, what's a march going to do?
yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
That's
you,
right,
but
man.
just
No,
thought
I
about
agree
that.
with you. I'm glad because I was going to bring that up too. You know, going forward, we have to be a little more strategic. You know, the march was held by a couple of little pastors, and they were saying, "Hold on, I don't want to be incorrect. I have it saved on my phone," and they saying something to the effect. Give me a second. I apologize. Let me pull this quote up. It's quite funny. Where is it? Where? It says, Kerry Williams, pastor of, Kerry Williams, the pastor of Young Chapel African Methodist Episcopal Church, said an active problem requires an active solution. Okay, that's very vague, but okay. He says something's wrong because we've got a lot of stuff going on in our community. If our hearts were right, then this stuff wouldn't be going on. What does that mean?
That means that you have no connection to their community and you didn't know what was going on before it happened, so you couldn't step in and try to stop it. That's what it means to me.
Yeah, that's how I interpret it. And I'm like, if your heart is, my thing is, if with prayer with no action, equals no results. So you can get on your knees and pray for hours in a day, but then you just sit back and turn on the Real Housewives of Atlanta after that. What did you really accomplish? You just sit there and kind of wasting your time. And again, like you say, we have to get in here and connect with these people. No matter what it takes. And I think the problem is, a lot of people, either one, maybe don't know how to connect with them, or two, I know certain individuals that are like involved in like 20 committees. So you're spreading yourself thin. So I think, individually speaking, you need to find an area that you are the most passionate in, that you can help people, and then go forward in that one. Like you said, you're a lawyer, I like media, somebody may like educating people, whatever it may be, find your lane and go in that way. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but I also just think it's just having a just general, like you said, you like media, general relationship with somebody. You and I, we talk about other stuff other than media, other than law. So
True.
if you have a relationship with this person, these people in this community, right? Then you can have a conversation with them about just about anything.
True.
Just about, So I just think, to me, it's about staying connected to the people and what's going on, and coming around on a regular basis, so that when they do have an issue, they don't have any qualms about saying, "Hey, look, man, this is what's up. Let's talk about this. Let's handle this." Like, for instance, the thing in Huntington, I think it started more or less, from what I understand, a little girl got shot. Some people shot into a house. Mm-hmm. Now, if it's me, and I'm down there, and I know those people, and I'm gonna go out in the community, I'm like, what's going on? Why? See if we can work this out before this goes any further. Really, I think that's the basis of it, is bad relationships, in the community. It's always gonna be stuff that happens, period. Mm-hmm. That's just life. But when you talk about it from that standpoint, you need to be more active. Like we did something with Black Light Initiative down in Huntington last week at the A.D. Lewis Center. And man, I like what they do down there. I like Maria, the way she runs it. She talks to those kids. Mm-hmm. The other ladies in there, Miss Hornbuckle's in there. I can't remember a couple other people that are in there. But those younger kids and junior high, they talk to them. They have, hey, listen, what's going on? School. That right there is the basis of fixing most of what's going on. Most people, when they think they become important, become doctors, lawyers, become engineers. They don't come around anymore. So these kids who may want to follow in those footsteps become fewer and far between because they don't have a relationship and they don't see it. But what they do see are the issues. I mean, when I say issues, problems. And so they continue to go down that steps, which lead to more issues and more problems. Mm-hmm. We're gonna always have them, but I think we have a greater possibility of producing more people on the positive aspect if they see more people, more grown people following that positive path.
I agree. Just like, I've stolen a couple quotes from a guy. His name is Bobby Glanton Smith, which I say, need miles of possibility.
Right.
That's nothing. I didn't come up with that. He's an older gentleman, and but that's what we have to start highlighting these people. And like you say, if you attain some title or position, and then you just leave right after that, and then like those Negroes, they need to pull themselves up by them bootstraps. But
some of them don't have boots. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the thing is, well, most of us don't have boots, but again,
I mean, they don't have shoes, period.
I think, with this stuff that's going on, in Huntington and Charles, I mean, the poor black people in general here in the United States, poverty breeds crime. And, too often we focus on the effect and not the cause. If you get, I know you don't use Facebook, but every time there's a shooting, we just need to lock up all the people from Detroit. We just need to lock. I said, well, how did this drug problem start? How does the hopelessness in some of these people, where did that come from? If you're not showing these people a positive example, giving them hope, and all the time it's like, hey, we just gotta lock them up. You're not going to police your way out of this situation, in my opinion. When I hear people talk about we need to hire more police and do this and do that, to me, you're just saying, we just need to lock up more black people. We was at a meeting there 2 weeks ago for a local mayoral candidate, and that's all I heard. Not from him, but from the people that was expressing their concerns was, we need more police. We need more police. We need more police. I said, well, this is even from city council members. I'm like, all right. So basically, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, you just want to lock up the undesirables, which is mainly, the black people on the west side and some, poor white people. Is that going to be the solution?
Not to me. Makes no sense to me. Didn't work with the quote unquote war on drugs in the federal system.
Yeah. And I think, we often hear, they talk about like the homeless. Like, it's just like, get them out of here. Well, shoot, we're seeing some of the most, economic disparities in this country on levels we've never even seen before.
That's like saying
the haves have the most and the have-nots have the least, probably in the modern U.S. history.
I mean, to me, it's like saying shoot the zombies. Okay, you're shooting the zombies, but what in the hell's making them zombies? So you're gonna run out of bullets sooner or later. You're gonna run out of rooms in the jail. So what they do, they build more jails. But anyway, it perpetuates the cycle. It's retarded. And excuse me, it is retarded. It's stupid as hell. But it's like people just don't seem to be paying attention. Like, did you see the deregulation of the FCC?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really been monitoring it, but yeah, I looked at that, yeah.
And the effects that that may have on people in general. It's like saying, okay, I've got so much water going through the pipeline, but I like this part of the country better than I like this part of the country. So what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze a bit away from the people I don't like and give more to the people I do like. So as far as the water, in this case being access to the internet, you're going to have much faster over here with the people I like and much slower over here with the people I don't.
So, well, not even that. Well, yes, that too, but then that's going to result in, you know, certain companies gonna say, all right, since they've, you know, quote unquote, slowed down our internet, you know, now we have to charge you, you know, $5 more, $10 more a month, you know, to get access.
Right.
You know, so we already got to pay enough. You know, internet is already, you know, expensive in my opinion.
Right.
You know, but who am I?
Not only that, it will affect, like Charleston's trying to bring in FiberNet and
Fiber optics.
Fiber optics. I'm sorry, fiber optics to help promote, you know, jobs. It's like, well, more people want to come here, more, you know, business want to come here because we'll have state-of-the-art fiber optics. Doesn't matter if you have state-of-the-art fiber optics if they decide,
down.
yeah, they want to bog it down because I don't want them to grow. And better yet, if, you know, let's just say those people at the top in our government decide that you're getting too loud and too boisterous. Let's limit what they can say on the internet.
But here's what's going on.
Let's limit what these people are getting out there in terms of communication. That is one of the first things that they did in Germany was control the newspaper and control. I'm talking about when Hitler came in office.
Nazi Germany.
Control the communications, newspapers, radios. They took over all forms of communication that they could.
Yeah, and here's what's going to happen. You know.
So then they only disseminate what they want out there.
Yeah, and the quote unquote, you know, black identity extremists, which we're probably fall under that category. They're going to try to, you know, do their best to shut us down.
Yep, I'm eating.
That's all right, brother. You know, fuel yourself. But but yeah, they're going to, you know, they're going to try to shut us down, and they might start with, you know, charging us, you know, to post on YouTube, charging us to, you know, post on Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, whatever it may be.
Well, even if they don't charge you, they can just point blank say,
I know that. Yeah. Cut you off.
Yeah.
I understand that. Well, they can do that now.
Yeah.
I know certain YouTube channels I like to watch.
To a limit. I'm talking about
I
websites. I'm talking about when you post your own website, they're going to be able to more or less monitor your website and censor what you can say.
Yeah. On
your website.
And that's the problem.
That's where it's going. So
here's my thing then. Like, have we relied too much on, you know, the digital aspect of certain just technology in general, you know, to the point, like, especially with media, you know, nowadays you don't have people that even buy CDs no more.
Right.
All the news comes from Twitter or Facebook. Ain't really no DVDs. People don't really buy Blu-ray and stuff like that. You watch everything on Netflix.
Well, it's gonna become a huge.
So have we boxed ourselves into this? To me, I'm always a hard copy type person. Like, I'll buy a CD, I'll buy a Blu-ray or whatever,
or DVD. I don't even like Facebook. Yeah. I don't like using it anyway. I mean, not for my personal stuff. My problem with it is, with this FCC regulation, is especially with places like Charleston where they've gotten rid of basically the black community, right? Mm-hmm. So without the internet, then how do you spread the word? You can't. Not very well, not effectively. Now, so if any other places are like Charleston, then the black community has been dispersed, right? People here, people here, people here, people there. Then it makes it hard for them to come together under one banner and one cohesive idea. Mm-hmm. So only thing they're going to get now is what's being pumped into them, which is just like our damn school systems. And so propaganda. Now, if you have a strong community where you can sit around like you and I are doing and have a conversation, then you're in a much better position. But like here in Charleston, we don't really have one. We don't have very many. I can't really think of any black businesses that are retail oriented in Charleston. We have services. We have some lawyers, maybe one or two accountants.
Right.
You guys provide.
We have home health care. Yeah.
But you don't have like this coffee shop. Mm-hmm. You don't have a bookstore. You don't have a clothing store.
Why is that, do you think?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we're 15% of the population, so it would seem like that if we would support.
Well, we have a couple restaurants. We have Them Two Brothers.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we have Them Two Brothers.
We have Capital Grill over there.
Capitol Grill, the bar, yeah.
bar over there.
But I mean, like
But
retail, like as in.
I understand what you said,
yeah.
retail, but like with us,
Then down to South
Every-
Charleston, Jay and his wife Frangina, I can't remember the name of it. They have a soul food restaurant in South Charleston.
so did you hear Charles Barkley, which I don't like him at all, but he pledged like $1 million for black women in Alabama to open businesses, but he said it can't be soul food restaurants or hair care stores.
Okay.
And you know he's a buttered biscuit eating. You can finish it how you want, but I ain't gonna say I agree or disagree with him, but I'm like, all right, kind of spitting at him at the same time you're trying to help him. I have nothing against. I kind of get what he's saying is we have enough soul food restaurants, but like, what is it? You don't want black women to own their own hair care? To me,
See,
to me that's stupid. Things that are 100% that is targeted towards you, you should own that. But we know the hair care industry, black hair care industry, is controlled by the Koreans.
I mean, I understand what he's saying. I'm not going to limit anybody who's going to open anything like that if I'm him. But I understand him saying, okay, maybe the way he said it wasn't right for you, but for me, I don't really have a problem because I think what he's trying to say, the way I read it is, he's trying to encourage them to diversify away from those particular industries, which, even here, that's all, I mean, we have, like I said, service industries. Not really retail, but service industries. Or
Yeah,
even,
like with our business, like any Joe Schmo off the side of the street can't really come and obtain them.
right, but it's still, I mean, it's still, we provide services, we don't provide things. Like we don't make widgets, we provide services. Even as a lawyer, I sell time and knowledge. You sell basically your time and manpower. Hair, like we have a couple places here that do hair. They sell, their time to do the hair. The same thing with the soul food restaurant. They sell, the food and the service. We don't produce enough like we used to. Like,
So I mean, I understand what I'm saying. What kind of industry, can we get into? What's kind of one industry, around here, West Virginia, that you think that we could, kind of get into?
Oh, I like tourism. I think that we have a lot in terms of outdoor activities to provide to not just the local youth, but nationally. I like that area. I mean, outdoor water rafting, all that stuff that traditionally around here, the black people are not promoted to be a part of.
But the thing is, like the outdoor activities around here, like things like mountain biking, rock climbing, you said whitewater rafting, snowboarding and skiing, hiking, camping, when you start to talk to black people about that, like, oh, that's white people stuff.
Well, I mean, that's what they've been taught to believe, but,
I mean, but what, I don't understand that. That's kind of...
Take them. I went whitewater rafting, love it. Mountain biking, love it.
Yeah, mountain bike, yeah.
I mean, they cost a bit sometimes to,
And that, I think, is the barrier. That's why when people say, oh, that's white, quote, unquote, white people stuff. No, it's not that it's for them. Like, they more than likely can afford it.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I mean, you buy those new Jordans that came out, what, $200 and some odd dollars? I know.
But it's listed priorities. But you could, let's say you buy 5 pair of Jordans a year, that's $1,000. Or that's going, you can wear them a couple of times, run them down, or you can buy a $1,000 mountain bike and ride that thing for years.
You can get one for $400.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to be,
I mean, you can get one for $400.
liberal with my, but getting, or I'm
you
saying you get
really
a nice,
get one with 200 and something, if you really want to look and get used ones or, whatever. But
but if you
it's
want
doable,
to get,
or you want to
good,
fix one.
A good one, that's going to last you a long, long time.
$450.
Okay, so two pair of Jordans.
Yeah.
Sacrifice 2 pair of Jordans, and you can use all summer.
Not only all summer, it gets you from A to B.
Yeah,
You're juvenile, you're a teenager working at McDonald's, and to take you to work.
Yeah, that too. That's
Just
true too.
stop.
And I think we
Play
just
football, basketball, it kept me, baseball, whatever you played, help you stay in shape.
Yeah, because I remember when we was younger, shit, we ride our bikes up and down, east side, west side,
Me too.
all day, every day, in the summertime at least. You know, but we didn't have no mountain bikes. We had the quote unquote
Whatever
called
bike.
stunt bikes or whatever with the pegs on them and stuff. Like we ain't doing, they ain't ever doing no stunts. We just got it for the looks.
Yeah, whatever you could find, whatever you picked up.
But yeah, I think, you know, going back to what we were saying, you know, we need to start looking into certain industries that we can get into and then provide the youth and, you know, adults with job opportunities.
Then we got Bert, Chris. Yeah, we know him as Bert.
Yeah,
You know, like he's producing
make shirts.
T-shirts now.
Yeah.
Why don't we support what he does? I mean, that's the thing. When somebody opens something, then don't get it wrong.
Well,
we gotta
buy-
open it right. We can't put
we have a
half-ass
couple,
stuff out there.
We bought some shirts from him.
Yeah, we
Black
did
Light
too.
Initiative did. I
We
wore
did
it
too.
once on the show.
And I'm going to he's going to be producing some more shirts for me soon.
Yeah, okay.
But you know, but when we do open a store, we can't go in half-ass like.
No,
You know, we're going to open up a store and we got first month's rent and then we hope we sell our product to make the next month's rent. That makes no sense.
I was listening to something a guy said, his name was Jason Black. He has this channel called the Black Authority. He said, when you go into business, you should go in with the mindset that you're not gonna make any profit for 2 years. So when you go into business, you have 2 years worth of, you know, your
Reserves.
lease, you know, 2 years worth of money for to pay your employees, 2 years worth of money to, you know,
Survive.
survive for yourself and to buy your product and whatever you're selling. And again, going back to what you're saying, we just kind of get in business with just the bare minimum. Like you say, I'm gonna get in with $1,000. You know, the lease is $700. You know, hopefully that first week I sell a couple, pork chop plates.
Yeah.
I can buy the next, pay my employee. You know.
They go in gambling instead of with a business plan. That's I wish, I hope. You know, instead of I will, I do, you know, I will do, you know. They going with that, and so it's bound to fail from day one. But regardless, once you open it, you know, we need to support us.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, when you get the support, you gotta do something in a positive manner.
So it should reciprocate. You know, somebody support you, then all right. Let's say, you know, you open up you have a sofa restaurant, and you make people come in and spend the money. Well, shoot,
But the food better be good first of all.
you know, I'm hoping.
If it's not, I might come back.
But you know, somebody else has, let's say, like a small clothing store.
Right.
You should, you know, even if you just buy one shirt every 3 months. You know,
Right.
that's something. But I probably
Right, why would you go over there and I'll say it, go to Young's,
Yeah, that'd be bad.
who's like Dracula on the black community, sucks the money out of them, and does not do anything for black people. Never has, been there 100 years, never will. Other than have bad things to say about you and other black people and everybody else in the community.
Yeah, having
I can't stand going there talking about, hey, what's up, man? Yeah, I was in. Man, get out. You heard the new Jay-Z? Man, get out of here.
Mr.
Yeah.
Young says that, whatever his name is,
call
Butters.
him, man, I will not. Man, call him shit.
He said, let's go to Butters. And then we got cats who rock the Butters tag on their shoes.
Man, you got dudes coming from Huntington, Bluefield to go spend their money with this dude who does absolutely nothing for black community. Well, I ain't got nowhere else to go. Man, running around butt ass naked for you give him your money.
Shit, online ain't no excuse.
Yeah.
Talking about
But then with somebody else, one of us opens something, oh man, the first thing they do is question whether or not it's real.
we mean question what,
Oh,
like
man,
the clothing?
Man, what do you mean is it real?
Is fake?
I mean, that's what they do if we were to open something.
Like
That's the first
fake
thing
in terms of, you know, what they
Knockoffs.
call? Shoot, who could tell?
Man, they can,
Shoot,
but you know, if
I
you're
think-
black, they immediately assume you selling them fake Jordans or whatever. That's just the way they
think
do it around here. So they
what
need
they call
to
it,
learn.
they call them variants, but they're made in a what a knockoff essentially is the reject product.
Man, whatever.
Right? Because you know
Yeah, but what I'm
apparel.
saying is, bottom line,
No, what I'm saying,
stop spending your money with
Well,
people who have no respect for you.
Yeah, so they talk about
Period.
black people got the knockoff. Well, maybe to get our self in the market, we had to get
I'm not even going down that road.
I understand, but
bottom line,
listen to what I'm
stop
saying.
spending your money.
Well, forget that, dude.
with people. No, not just him. With any of them who don't respect you.
Well, yeah, that person is. Yeah, I haven't been in that store in years. I can't even. It's definitely since I graduated from college, and that was back in 2009. But
I walk through there sometimes just to see what he's doing.
I haven't been inside there at least 8 years, at least. But my thing is,
I walked through there with my nephew just to watch him follow us. I said, see, I'm not buying you anything out of here. I'll set it on fire first. Set my money on fire before I let you buy something out of here.
Hilarious.
I said, then watch them. We go to the other side, and watch how quickly they come over here like we're going to steal something.
has Butters ever been robbed? I think somebody robbed him a couple times. I think that somebody came and robbed.
Whoever did it, thank you. But anyway.
But what was I about to say? But yeah, I think, if you value yourself, value those, to take a time to, try to lift you up. Value those, who are actually, quote unquote, want to help the black community, not for the accolades and the recognition, but the truly sincere. And I think that's the problem. It's like, we got Pastor Pork Chop, running around talking about, if your heart is right, everything will be. What does that even like? That doesn't mean nothing to me. If your heart is right, how can people's heart be right when they live in impoverished? How can you're never going to truly get your heart right when every day you have to, it's a concrete jungle out there for these people.
Well, with that being said, what do you want to end this on?
What I want to end this, what I want to end this, today's show on is how do we truly, end, this cycle of racism, white supremacy that has us enslaved still to this day. And I think that first comes with self-awareness. It comes back to knowing your heart, who you are, and take the time to figure it out. And it's not going to be a quick, Band-Aid approach. It's going to be surgical. And I think we don't really want to recognize that, or we understand that, but, to some people it's hopeless, so let me just get my money.
Right. Well, I think I want to end it on, one, participate in the process. Once you're in a position to make a decision based on, the full view of where you are, where you've come from, and how it can affect those who are behind you. Two, make sure you spend money with people that respect you. Don't give yourself, your time, your money to people who wouldn't give anything to you, especially respect. And three, if we're in a position like, some people are, where they have to face criminal charges or something like that, one reason you participate is that when somebody who is not from the upwardly mobile community, from the higher stratosphere of the economic community, is standing before you or in a position where you can affect their life down the line, you consider why they're there and what effect your decisions are going to have on them. So the laws and the process and the system is applied equally across the board, as equally as we can make it anyway. With that, Have a good day.
Peace.